Welcome to the Entrepreneur Toolbelt podcast, the only podcast you'll ever need to get your business to the next level. This podcast is powered by Antoine Campbell Enterprise. Welcome to the Entrepreneur podcast. It's episode 5. Today I got a very special guest with me, all the way from DC, Toya Brim. She's a realtor, real estate investor, and overall a nice person. And she's going to be talking today about the tsunami that I think that's coming in the next 8 to maybe 24 months in real estate investing. So without further ado, welcome Toya to my podcast.
I'm gonna need a little more sauce on my intro.
My apologies.
It's okay. I'm just teasing, Antoine. Thanks for having me.
So let everybody know who you are. You introduce yourself. How about that?
All right. Toya Brim. I don't know where to start. I've been in the real estate game since 2004. I fell into real estate investing. I'm licensed in 3 states to do traditional sales in real estate. My niche has been doing foreclosure, short sales, all things distressed property, from wholesaling to fixing and flipping to saving sales at the courthouse steps. I think that I found a new love in real estate, but all of it still surrounds helping people and providing a way out for people. So that's probably where you'll hear my name most, like rescuing.
Awesome. So let's talk about helping people, right? Because real estate is a relationship business. So how did you get your start at the beginning as far as being a realtor?
Well, you probably heard me tell this story before. Long story short, I had a neighbor whose husband cheated on her with the neighbor across the street. Literally packed his stuff up, moved across the street, and she was left in this house.
Hold on.
He packed his bag.
He packed this stuff and moved across the street.
He walked across the street
like
to his new house.
Like the Harlem Nights. Like, honey, I ain't never come back home.
Honey, I ain't come back home.
That's crazy.
Yes. So then that night, we were in her house drinking. She said, look, I'm going back to Atlanta with my family. So I'm like, well, what you going to do with your house? She said, I don't know. You want it? I'm like, I got a house. I just bought a house. She's like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. The next morning, she knocked on my door and gave me a box. It had all the papers to her house, who to contact, blah, blah, blah. And so I went to Home Depot, spent about $50. I bought a sign to stick in the yard and went to Staples next door and bought some bootleg contracts. And was no YouTube, was no Instagram, was none of that. I literally figured it out. I sold that house, put some carpet and paint, and fell into real estate investing. And the reason I got a license is because I hired a realtor to do absolutely nothing. I had the house. I found the buyer. She showed up with the contracts.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I just paid you how much to do that? Yeah, a week later, went to Greenbelt Weicker, got in real estate school, and the rest is history.
And what year was this?
That was like 2003, 2004.
Shit, this is practically at the start of the internet.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So I looked up realtors, right? And I know for a fact that realtors are an essential part of what we do in real estate transactions. But I don't think enough people take that serious. So how do you structure yourself, or did you structure yourself at the beginning to become a valuable asset to people who wanted to sell a house?
Well, if anybody was in the business sometime around 2008, 9, and 10, you know that the market did a humongous turn upside down. So everything that was going on in the market was essentially short sales. So you had to adjust. You had to find a way to help people who were what we call upside down. If they owed more than their house was worth, there is no sticking a sign in the yard, listing it for market value and having somebody come buy it. So you had no choice but to adapt. It's a lot of people fell out the business back in those years, 2008, 9, and 10. Just like there's a lot of people who fell out the business during this pandemic. Right. You cannot be a one-trick pony or you would not last in real estate, period.
Right. I agree. So I looked at some stats, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, being a realtor isn't a sexy thing, right? It says that the median pay as a realtor is $45,610 US. And if you combine that to an hourly rate, that's $21.93, right? How do you make sense of, being a realtor and being able to take care of your bills? Because here in the DC area, I can't speak for nowhere else. The average median income that it takes to live a comfortable lifestyle is $110,000.
I don't know where you got them statistics from, but that they putting sauce on it. You literally be working for minimum wage. By the time I show you 50 houses, by the time we lose 5 or 6 beds, and then we go back out to see another 5, 6, you didn't work for free. I might as well been dunking some chicken. No shade. But the reality is you get in this business because you love the business and you love helping people. And as you grow within your business, you find your niches and you discover what works best for you financially. I'm phasing out of showing property. I put my time in. She a vet now. Call a pop. And I'm just leveraging my time better. So for those realtors who still work with buyers and they're showing house after house after house, be smart, come up with a plan, transition, get you a buyer's agent so that you aren't working for nickels. Right now, focus on helping people achieve their dream of home ownership. But the money is not in holding a real estate license whatsoever.
So, not to get ahead of ourselves, what do you think that if a realtor is watching today, what should they be focusing on as far as generating more revenue for themselves?
Focus on listings. Listings give you leverage all day long. I don't care what training you go to. Listings give you leverage. Not only is it free marketing when you put a sign in the yard, you can have open houses with potential buyers coming in, and you have the ability to hold 50 listings. You can't help 50 buyers. How much driving can you do? At that point, you're a free Uber driver. Focus on listings. Listings, listings, listings. I can't stress that enough.
Right. And I mean, because I see there's a ton of realtors out here. Like, at what point did you start mixing that sauce? Like, okay, I'm a realtor, but I'm an investor. And how did you make which one a more priority?
I think I kind of use my judgment based on what I felt was a good deal for both the seller and myself. If the seller had a home nobody wanted, I would ask myself why. And if that why didn't bother me, I would make the investment myself. I'm helping them and I'm helping myself build my investment portfolio. For me, I feel like I make decisions based on what's best for both parties, not just best for me or not just best for them.
Right.
And I use that as judgment as to whether I want to turn and put my investor hat on or keep my realtor hat on.
Right. I think that's what a lot of realtors struggle, because I'm not a realtor, but I work with a lot of realtors and we sold a lot of houses. We flipped a bunch of houses.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that even though that you have a license, that don't mean you're qualified.
At all.
And I think the realtors got the game backwards, that they think that you supposed to, bend over backwards and kiss their butt. Like, what could someone do right now to prove their worth, to show people, hey, you're worthy to work with? Like, people, like, I know for a fact, knowing you as a personal relationship,
Mm-hmm.
people you don't pay for Facebook ads, but you got a bunch of fucking listeners, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the magic behind that? Not giving up everything, but just enough that, hey, man, this is how you position yourself to be able to make money.
You've probably heard me say this before. Relationships will take you way further than money ever will. So every time you turn down somebody because the check is not big enough, just remember you might need that person in your business later. Just remember that might be a bridge you have to recross. Everything is not about the check. My relationships are so solid that I don't have to market or advertise for anything. People bring business to me because we feed each other. There is no, well, how much am I going to make? Well, how much is this worth? It's, I need help. Can you do this? And those same people who bring food to my table, I take food to theirs.
That's crazy, because like most of the business I created over the last 9 years been strictly ran off of word of mouth marketing. I think that's the right word for it.
Absolutely.
Is there something that you're doing extra, like, going to see the sellers, actually sitting down in the living room, having a heart to heart with them? Like, what makes them, sign with you compared to everybody else who's probably kicking in their door to get that listening?
I don't come in their house with no fluff and shit. It is what it is. Your situation is what your situation is. I'm not there to coddle your feelings. I'm not there to make you feel good about yourself. I'm there to bring you actual results. Now, I'm respectful, but if you haven't paid mortgage in 2 years, I'm not coming in there with no presentations and slideshows. We in trouble. What we gonna do? What's your plan?
Right.
We don't have one. Here is the plan. This is what I say we need to do. And if you don't want to accept the plan, that's fine. Have a good one.
So let me ask you, in the process of talking to a seller, how important is honesty? Like, instead of, because I know when I talk to sellers, when my VAs talk to sellers, they so afraid to offend people. Like, I go the opposite way with the honest route. How important is that in your business, using honesty to the sellers?
I actually feel like sellers respect honesty. I don't feel like they'll be offended if you have respect. You don't want to talk to people crazy, but at the same time, you don't want to sell
Right.
dreams.
Right.
It just is what it is. And if they feel like there's no fluff and no bullshit, you won't get kicked out.
Right.
Simple.
So obviously behind me, there's a house with a foreclosure sign in the yard, and it's raining like shit. Why is it that? It's because we know for a fact there's something on the horizons where I think the average person is like $5,400 behind on their mortgage. Um, what are some things as a realtor that you should be doing to prepare yourself, even a wholesaler? Let's talk about both sides. What are some things that you should be doing to prepare yourself for when the government said, you know what, we can't continue to kick the can down the road?
As a realtor, you need to line up a great short sale negotiator. Those are attorneys who will help you fight the lender to save the property, either sell it via short sale, keep it from going to the courthouse steps, and there's potentially a commission to be made. Now, everybody knows the short sale process is everything but short.
Right.
But you have to be prepared to line your team up because, first of all, in Maryland, it's illegal to negotiate short sales. So you got to have attorneys that are on standby that can go back and forth with the lenders for you. Unless it's a lender that is not gonna really do no negotiating. It's a set amount they want. That's it. Ain't no back and forth. So realtors, set your team up, get a short sale negotiator. That's how you gonna get through the tsunami. As a wholesaler, your best bet is to have systems in place. All that daisy chaining, one house, all that marketing houses that's not yours, all of that will never work in this tsunami that's coming. And I'm going to tell you why. Every single homeowner has a lender that has a specific short sale package that you have to fill out in order to make any sale happen. So while you out there having your wholesale contract signed, it means absolutely nothing. That person can sign 10 of those.
Right.
If the lender doesn't agree and doesn't know what you're doing, none of it matters. I can come right behind you, get an agreement with the lender, and take what you thought was yours. Period. That's just that simple. It doesn't matter. You can go to the courthouse, pay whatever to put a lien on the title. None of that matters because the lender trumps all of that.
And that right there is worth the entire view of this conversation. Because, we lock up deals as wholesalers and we think, hey, I got a contract, she got to fulfill her duties, blah, 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 all this whole shit. People are not educating themselves, not knowing that. Build your team, right?
Build your team.
Understand what lenders are accepting what and what packages are they're accepting. And you can even go onto their website to download the packages most times, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's important to educate yourself on what each lender is looking to recoup. Don't forget, these lenders are at a loss.
Right.
So they don't care what you negotiated with the seller. None of that actually matters. Actually, don't even negotiate money with the seller when it's a property that's in a foreclosure situation because the seller is ultimately not going to make the decision. It's the lender. So I don't care if Sean want 300,000. The lender say they want 350. I gotta come up with 350. So you just wasted your time. Now you look unexperienced. You look like you don't know what you're doing, and you feel like you've embarrassed and played yourself because now you have to go back to your seller with different terms.
Correct. We're going to pause it here really quickly, guys. We're going to go to commercial break. right? I want you to watch this video from our sponsor, the Lead Factory. And it's good. It's an amazing product that we put together. It's a call center that we really invested thousands of dollars in. So that way, when the tsunami comes, you can have quality leads coming to you and you can close them. Commercial break.
Hey, wholesaler, how you doing? This is your boy Antoine Campbell. I am the owner of Lead Factory. The Lead Factory is a program that allows you to stop worrying about sellers cussing you out, dealing with your lead generation, trying to figure out how to work Silly Ass Mojo or CallTools, and let us step in and handle all of the work for you. Are you sick and tired of trying to get all of the front end shit right in your business? Well, allow Lead Factory to come in and step in and help you out, and you're only talking to motivated sellers. You can get access to this program for as little as $1,600 a month commitment. But we provide the VA, we provide $1, we do all the management, we take care of everything that you're currently struggling with, and you pay a flat fee knowing you don't have to worry about anything else but talking to motivated sellers. If that sounds like somebody like you, call me now or visit the website right now.
Welcome back. Like I said, the Lead Factory is up and coming. We've been working for months to get that thing off the ground. We done employed some great people. We got good managers over there. We're taking on as many clients as possible. Guys, it's all about building your pipeline. And let's go into that. What's the importance of building your pipeline? Literally, I got 2 deals still with you. I almost forgot about it. It's been for 2 years. What's the importance of building your pipeline?
I need you to say they short sales, by the way, for they think, what you been doing for 2 years?
Short sales. Like you said, it's nothing short about a short sale. So when you get a lot of, not even newbie wholesalers, newbie realtors too, they don't have the patience. So let's talk about that. Patience and the short selling process, because there's nothing short about that.
So what I do is I set up my team. That short sale negotiation company is king. They're the person that's going to do your day-to-day. And if you build a good relationship and rapport with them, they're typically working for free until the deal closes. And when the deal closes, if you work your situation right, you'll get the lender to pay the short sale company. So you ain't never paid them anything, and they did the work along the way. That's the nugget.
Right.
And every time you hire a short sale negotiation company, pick a set day every week that you do your check-ins. Usually ours is on Friday. On Fridays, we get an update with every single property that's in the short sale process and where it is. You have to make this business seamless or you will go crazy, especially when you're juggling multiple properties and multiple files.
So even a wholesaler, they can assemble what you're basically saying and get their own kind of team to help them in negotiations.
You can. It's important though to try to connect with a realtor.
Right.
Not me though. Not me.
Why not you? I'm just curious.
Because my business has become so niche and specific. We have too much of our own stuff.
Right.
So no shade, but if you find a realtor, most of the time that short sale negotiation company is more apt to work with the realtor than you. We have ethical laws we have to follow, legislation, we know the rules. A lot of wholesalers don't. So they don't want to get in bed with you and you do something wrong or you break a law and they on the hook because you didn't know what you was doing. So it's just an easier transition. Not saying that they won't work with you, but you usually have an easier time if you in the background and your realtor is doing the push with the short sale negotiation company.
This is the most perfect time, honestly, right, Toya, for a newbie realtor or a low volume realtor. Maybe they had their license hung somewhere for 2 years, but really they made no money. To reinvent themselves.
Absolutely.
What are 3 things could they do right now to kind of grab authority to start doing deals?
I would say learn short sales. 100% learn short sales, because a lot of these pre-foreclosures are short sales right now, and they're going to be until this moratorium lifts. If you learn short sales, you'll grab a ton of listings. A lot of seasoned realtors don't even want to deal with short sales. A lot of investors and wholesalers don't even know how to deal with short sales. That's your way in right there.
Yeah, that's kind of puzzling to me that a lot of people don't know how to deal with short sales. When most of the because I'm looking at the market right now. Every day I see houses selling. I'm following Pennsylvania trends. I'm following Maryland trends, and I'm seeing shit selling $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 over list price. What's the possibility in 3-4 years these people can resell and not have to bring a check to closing?
There is no possibility. all of these people who are selling over appraised value are going to be, or buying over appraised value, are going to be upside down. You are walking into like negative equity, trying to win a bid. I mean, it's a disadvantage. I guess the upside is at least you own something now, but the downside is you're gonna have to stay put for a minute.
Right. And that brings me back to my question. You said earlier, realtors have a responsibility, right, to do things ethically. At what point would you tell a buyer, hey, you know what, that might not be best for you? Like, don't you have a responsibility to say, hey, I don't think that's a good idea?
I say it every time. But at the same time, you're hired to do a job. It's their money.
Right.
So if they say, I don't care, still write the offer, I'm gonna write the offer. As long as we have in writing that you understand what you're doing, you're agreeing to no home inspection, you're agreeing to no appraisal, you're agreeing to put this much money down, you're agreeing to pay all the taxes. As long as you know it's your point, I'm good. Because I'm gonna get a check regardless. I just want to make sure you understand, because a lot of people don't understand what they're agreeing to.
Right.
So as long as I make sure you understand, my job is done.
Right. So today I woke up this morning, Bitcoin down 45%. I don't invest in Bitcoin. That's not my thing.
Me either. It's
But,
like Japanese to me.
But, right.
I'll be like, wow.
Go ahead. but 45% down. It's so volatile. Like, to me, that's a sign. That's a sign that something's bad about to happen, honestly. Because think about this, Toya, and I'm not no economics, but I do pay attention. The government pumped $4 trillion worth of made up money. Well, okay, it's money. They pumped $4 trillion worth of money in this economy.
Okay.
What is that money going back into people buying more houses? Where do you think that money went? You know what I mean? As far as like the economy.
I feel like it's money that we already paid. Actually, it belonged to us in the first place. I feel like we paid it. We pay taxes. We pay all these bogus fees for stuff we don't even know what it is. Most of the time, you are putting money into the government that you can't explain. When all those items come out, half the world can't even tell me what's coming out their paycheck.
Right.
You don't know what you pay for life insurance. You don't know what you pay for health insurance. You don't know what the taxes are. That money is ours anyway. But the problem is we don't have right or stakes to it. So how are we going to reclaim it? We can't. So we're going to end up paying for the money they gave us eventually. I'm just hoping that enough of us own assets and not liabilities where we can use our leverage and funnel that money through real estate or through ownership of stuff and not pay taxes on the money that was ours anyway.
Correct. So I was looking at Bloomberg, and they said most of the people affected by this economic meltdown is mom and pop landlords, people who own 2 to 3 rental properties. Like, are you seeing mom and pop landlords cashing out and just selling it, that non-performing rental properties? People that's been in there 6-7 months who haven't made an attempt to pay their rent because they know the government is backed and protecting them from not paying right now?
Yes, 100,000%. But that was happening before the pandemic, honestly. I feel like we're just seeing it now because it's on the forefront. And now more people are affected by it. I feel like that is the risk versus reward in real estate. It's almost like a numbers game with anything.
Right.
1 or 2 don't really change your life, don't really get you out of whatever you're in. You need 1 to pay for the next and that to pay for the next. And it's a numbers thing.
But that's what I'm confused, like, because they teach you buy assets. You know, the average person buying an asset works a job and is going to buy it with the conventional 20% down loan, right?
Or FHA.
FHA or whatever. So when you had 2, 3, 4 properties and maybe 2 of them stop paying rent, that means you have to stroke a check for whatever that mortgage payment is. Like I don't see how people can scale it, honestly, without doing something creative. And that brings me to my next question. Do you think creative financing is the way out of this tsunami with people trying to build a portfolio or trying to get around not having to commit to a 20% down payment?
I think so, but I'm more of a private financing girl. I like to use my circle.
So explain that to me, because I hear people say that it's a buzzword, but I know you'll give me the real answer.
Hey, Keith, I got a good deal. Can I get $20K? What the deal look like? Give me about an hour. put your deal on paper, show that person how they can make their money back plus some from handing you the bag, and y'all go invest. No interest. You'll set deadlines.
So what do 20K get you? Is that like,
It depends where you are, because we be trapping.
but I'm just saying, like, for you, like, let's use you as a case study, right?
Okay.
We in the trap. We talking to Miss Ellen, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's Northern Virginia somewhere or down south somewhere,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
She's in what's somewhere I can use? Somewhere down in Virginia.
Okay.
And she said, you know what, Toya, I love this house, but I just don't want to do this house no more.
Okay.
The house needs a little work. And it may need 15,000 to get it back on the market. What is that conversation like to your circle?
So I'm gonna go in, because it's my niche, and say Miss Ella's behind.
Right.
If Miss Ella is behind 10K, that 20K I just got from Keith, I'm gonna go add my name to the title, about 2,300. I'm gonna go catch Miss Ella up. I'm gonna find Miss Ella somewhere to go, and I'm gonna purchase Miss Ella's house. And if Miss Ella don't want to leave, I'll still purchase and rent it back.
How does that work?
Depends on where you are. Depends on the laws. But I still haven't spent my 20K yet.
Right.
I caught her up with 10, spent 23 at the title company. What else we do? It's literally 1,000 ways to make money in real estate without ever really busting open a bank. You know people who have money. Most of us have money. My first investment, I didn't know what I was doing. I pulled my whole 401k out. I was like in my early 20s. I was like, oh, I got time. And I pulled it out. But that set me up to do the next.
Right.
And the next. Like we have resources. We're just scared to use them, and we scared to find them. We feel like we got a handout. You making this person money. They ain't really doing you no favor. They don't want to give you 20K. The next person might if they can make 30. But they don't know. You don't know if you don't ask.
Right. Because the issue is, even when I got into the game, nobody was teaching this stuff. Like, nobody wasn't even wanting to have a conversation. It was either you're a wholesaler or you're a realtor.
Can you imagine in 2004? It was like, you doing what? Trying to do what? With my money? It's all about presentation. It's about education. It's about confidence. If you come up to me shaking, telling me you want to borrow 20,000 and you can't explain why, I'm gonna tell you kick rocks. But if you show me a projected way where I can make 30 when I give you 20 in 6 months, I'm in. Who's not in? Because
nobody's paying that type of dividends on that money.
No. I mean, this private money is out there. You handshaking and you at these establishments, these parties, and you networking and you talking to people who sleep on money. Open your mouth.
So let's talk about what are some things they can do to kind of like build up their private money network. Like, is there something? I hear people say, "Oh, let me take you to coffee." Who the fuck drinks coffee? I don't drink coffee like that.
First of all, I love coffee. I love me some Starbucks. Hope there wasn't no plug for them because they get enough of my money. But I think that's played out.
Right.
We ain't doing coffee dates in 2021 and 22. But what you can do is show a person's time value. How can you present yourself in a way that makes it beneficial for them? Coffee don't work, dinner don't work, drinks don't work. Don't offer me drinks. I drink on my own all the time. I need you to show up with a plan that's going to get my interest. I had a person invite me to a networking event that was with the caucus. It was many ways to invest, many investors there, many ways to get into philanthropy, which is what I've been trying to do. So that was of interest to me. It wasn't, can you help me do XYZ? Let me introduce you to a few people. I feel like there are opportunities you may be interested in, and vice versa. This is what I need. Let's eat. I'm there. All day long, I'm there. You got to network. You got to meet people. You got to give back. You have to do things for people with no expectation of nothing in return. And you'll get the blessings in real estate. I promise.
Yeah, I think real estate is relationship.
It's all relationships. Not popularity contests. Don't be mistaken.
Yeah.
Not
popularity
clicks.
Don't pay the bills.
Not clicks and popularity.
Because think about this. Like, if you have like relationship capital, that's my thing. So if I have 20 people in my circle and I go through hard times, I can say, hey, Toya, let me hold 10,000. I'm fucked up. You will never question why I need that money because you know what I'm about.
Absolutely.
So can you explain to people the importance of making sure that you don't burn bridges in this business?
It takes me back to relationships take you further than money ever will. I've had new wholesalers hand over fist try to contact my seller directly. You
Wow.
literally tried it. I've built a rapport and relationship with this person. You don't think they want to tell me? And then 2 months later, and EC will attest to this, they'll call back and need help because they stuck in a deal that they can't get out of, and the seller is expecting them to perform, and they don't have a buyer. Now they need me to be a cash buyer or find them one. But wait, you're the same person who contacted my seller 2 months ago. This real estate industry is hella small, and those of us who've been doing it for a long time, you will be in front of us again. It's not worth it. Do unto others as you want to do to you.
I always said, man, this game remind me of the Animal Channel. Like no one's safe.
Nobody's
safe. You can be up today and down tomorrow.
Listen.
And I don't care, like, even for me financially, like, there be times I look at my bank account like,
I'm trying to tell you, one life event will shut your shit down. You be starting at one, like, wait a minute. Scratching your head, like, look, we trapping. What a ramen. Okay, I ain't never eaten that.
So this is my new show. You always come with all my stuff. I appreciate your support.
Of course.
What are some things you do to stay motivated? Right? Because you got that high energy. When I talk to you on the phone, you be like, what's up with it? And I'm like, hey, what's up? You ain't dry or nothing. So how did you keep that energy?
Sometimes it be fake.
Oh my God, not me. You fake with me?
No, not with you. But I'm going to be real. Real estate is a beast. Like, right. I ain't never drunk more tequila in my life. You hear me? I'm talking about no chaser, throwing them back. It's like 12. Like, this is ridiculously crazy. It's not always up. But if you keep your mindset right, if you stay motivated, if you stay dedicated and focused, this shit looks sexy on YouTube, but it ain't.
It definitely ain't.
Promise you it's not. When you get them calls saying that your settlement not going to happen and you on the way, like, it's not pretty. But you have to want it bad enough to stay in the trenches. I didn't bust down doors. I didn't stayed up 2, 3 in the morning talking to title companies. I didn't stalk and chase lenders. All of it is part of what we do. So there are going to be down days. It's going to be days where you don't feel like effing with real estate. They just tell me, watch my mouth. When you don't feel like dealing with this business as a whole, but you got to keep on pushing because that next day might be your lick.
Right.
The moment that you hang it up or don't pick the phone up, that could be your lick. So don't ever stop. You can't stop. And some days I think, hey girl, how you doing? That energy is completely bogus, but I go meditate, I reclaim my energy, get it back, and I keep on pushing.
Yeah, I think energy is everything, man.
It is.
For me, like the last 12 months, I just been big on my energy. Like the weekends, I try my best. LaShawn can attest to this. What we doing with the kids this weekend? What we doing together? You know, we went to Florida back in February. We supposed to have been for a week, and we end up staying a month. I was like, you know, let me get my mind right because when I get back home, it's work time. And I think so many people in this business, like entrepreneurship, they just feel entitled. Like it's the entitlement is through the roof. Like I get people reach out to me and they throw a hissy fit when I don't respond to them quickly enough, and they think that I'm supposed to stop what I'm doing to help you. Like, what is your opinion on people who had that mindset coming into this business, entrepreneurship?
I don't have no opinion. They ain't gonna be here long. Because real estate will eat you alive. You're entitled to nothing. No one owes you nothing. You don't deserve nothing, and ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. You literally, every single day, it's a jungle, and you're gonna fight for your own deals, for other people's deals. You're gonna do your job, the other realtor's job, the other wholesaler's job. You're gonna do the seller's job. You're gonna do the title company's job, the lender's job. There is no expectations, there is no loyalty, and there is no there's nothing given. Right. As long as you accept that, you'll do great. Look, discouraging the 500 people who wanted to get in real estate.
I mean, because it looked great on the outside, but like honestly, like
because we make it look sexy. You know, we on YouTube. You got the fancy videos, and you on vacation every other week. I'm trying to be like Antoine on vacation. Every other week. You on vacation, and you got the nice cars, and you try. I mean, people see the lifestyles that real estate can afford, but they forget about the work that it took to get there. You keep looking at people's day 1,000, but you don't know what day one was. 1 through 1,000 was a B.
Exactly.
It's crazy. Like you listen, it's a hard game, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Real estate is a life changer and I love it.
I love real estate too. And once I discovered virtual assistants in my business and how to scale with VAs, it really helped my real estate business get to the next level. So we're gonna go to commercial break, and I want you to pay attention to this video about getting a VA and take your business to the next level using virtual assistants.
This podcast is sponsored by V1 VAs. If you're looking for a virtual assistant, we are the number one place to come and get your virtual assistants. I don't care if you're a realtor, if you run a car agency, if you run an ad agency, if you are a wholesaler, I don't care what you is. If the position requires you to use a computer or a working telephone, I can get you somebody in that position for $4 an hour, fully trained, ready to go. Stop wasting time and get to the next level with your business by generating more money and doing less and spending less on labor costs. Text me now, 202-335-3322. The time is now to take your business to the next level.
Like I said, if you need a VA, text me now, 202-335-3322. I will help you get to the next level. I help thousands of clients over the last 2 years get their business to the next level, whether it's real estate, life insurance, realtors, it doesn't matter. We even have funeral home clients where I guess they get calls in about Obama and flu. I don't know. But anyway, let's get back to the show. This is getting really, really good. So this is the Entrepreneur Toolbelt. And I created this show because I wanted to show people a different way to look at entrepreneurship. And I know that you're not really big on technology, but I ask everybody on my show this question. What is the top tools you need on a daily basis to run your business or your personal life?
Top tools, a good CRM.
Okay.
Some sort of good follow-up system if you aren't big on using your CRM. Because I keep it to store information, but for follow-up, I don't typically use it. I use a human. Her name's Nisi. Which brings me to the next one, an assistant. Somebody who has your back to keep you on track. You can't do everything. I learned that the hard way. You need someone to be able to sometimes tell you where you need to be because this business is just that crazy. Email accounts. It sounds really juvenile, but you can't have 17 email accounts. You need a couple good ones that you actually check because most of your success is going to happen via email. Learn that the hard way too. You don't need 7 emails and you don't need to use 5 of the 7. Those are probably as easy as it sounds, like my top ones. There is no software. There is no secret system that brings me money. None of that. Old school referrals, knock on doors, talk to people. Simple.
Man, I'm right with you because like my team, like, hey Antoine, if you want to really get to the next level, you need Facebook ads. You need Facebook ads for your real estate business, and you need Facebook ads for all your other businesses. And I'm like, man, I've been doing this for 8 years without Facebook ads. I don't know about it. So now we starting to test out the ads, but like, I still love the word of mouth. I think that's the best business model. Like,
and don't get me wrong, sometimes using word of mouth leads you to social media.
Right.
And vice versa. Sometimes social media leads me to word of mouth. Somebody who knows somebody, who introduces me to somebody, it may not go anywhere there, but if I see them out, like it's all of this stuff in real estate is full circle. 9 times out of 10, you're going to meet a person twice, talk to them at least once, and work with them at least once. It's just how real estate works. I don't know why. It just does.
Yeah, real estate is good. So I asked everybody this for my show, right? It's the beginning of the decade. It's 2021, right? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years at the end of the decade, 2030?
I see myself purchasing a ton of foreclosures and holding everything. I am holding every single property I come across to do a number of different real estate strategies that I haven't tried before. Predominantly short-term leasing. We are making a killing doing short-term leasing.
Open up a bag.
Absolutely. Before, if we talk probably 2 years ago, I'm like, I'm going to be no landlord. Right. I am not going to be no landlord. Never said I didn't want to hold property. Now that I found a way to hold it without building a relationship with a pain in the ass tenant for 12 months, it's over.
And it makes sense. Because like even for me, people like Antoine, you doing all this and you ain't got a portfolio. I'm like, I can't make sense of it. I can go create 2-3 more businesses and cash flow on that and be straight than to, got to deal with the tenants and
Oh, I got sense for you.
so let's talk about this because this is a sign from God, right? I call myself trying to be Antoine the investor and went to Baltimore and got my ass handed to me with one short-term money. But I think this go around, I'm gonna go ahead and do it because, like you said, you're not in a relationship with someone long-term. If they don't want to pay this month, if they got strung out on drugs, like none of their bullshit problems your problem. Let's talk about that. Like, I know you don't want to talk too much about it, but let's talk about the whole setup and how could someone make sense of this strategy.
You see me picking and choosing my words because wisdom is not for free.
Oh, I know. Where I need
However,
to wire the money
because it's you, I'm going to give you something. Seriously, I don't know what took us so long, but it doesn't matter because we're here now.
Right, because I was flipping houses. I was doing all this wild
But
shit.
you know what? The reality is fixing and flipping is great. But in my opinion, every time you fix and flip a house, you start over.
Exactly.
It's something about that starting over that don't feel good to me. And it's been weighing on me for years. I don't care about money in the bank. To me, that's not impressive. I care about residuals. I care about reoccurring deposits on the 1st, the 15th, the 30th. Then I'm impressed. How many reoccurring deposits do you have coming? Because I'm trying to be like you. In this new way of setting up our real estate business, we have learned how to maximize off contracts with first responders, traveling nurses, military, in short-term leasing these properties to these people who need a short-term lease. So where we would once make a purchase and turn the property over, we fixing the property up and we're renting it out. So what you make from your tenant every month, we're making in a weekend.
Crazy.
And it's 4 more weeks to go. That is a game changer. It's not new. People been doing it, but it took me so long because I didn't want to do it the way everybody
But see, the thing is, and that's why I got wrong, right? And I admit when I'm wrong. I'm not a know-it-all. We categorize short-term rentals as Airbnb. That's it, or VRBO.
And that's what took me so long.
You just said something to me that kind of like, man, if anybody that was needed in the last 12 months, it's been your EMS, it's been your traveling nurses, it's been all these different people that's really important to what's going on with this
Think
whole
about how
crisis.
many nurses were sent here to issue you your vaccine that don't live here. Where they stand?
Oh yeah, they stand somewhere. I don't know, but I know they stand somewhere.
And even if you charging $200 a night, 9 times out of 10, you still cheaper than the average hotel.
Right. Like I said, I couldn't wrap my mind around. I'm a more logical guy. Like I'm
not because you hadn't talked to me.
But this is before you put me to this, right? I'm talking about just the guy on YouTube yelling at me, son, own properties. I'm like, I can't wrap my mind around it. Like my affiliate check is like 50 rental properties. That's
what I mean by you can't just say something in real estate without making it make sense. People are listening, people are watching. It's 3,569 million gurus. And nobody really, they giving you all these little random nuggets, but nobody ever puts.
It's sound bites.
That's perfect. Nobody ever puts the puzzle together.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, what good is it if I don't have the pieces? I mean, a lot of this is not, like I said, I didn't make it up. This isn't new. It's people who've been doing it before me. Don't inbox me and tell me you did it first. Okay, great. I'm just saying, a lot of this is finding ways to improve processes and do things better. I didn't want to just do Airbnb.
Right.
I could have been just done Airbnb. A lot of what I've been thinking about over the last year is how do I leverage myself? I don't want just short-term rental vacationers. I want people who want to go under contract with me for 6 months to a year, money paid because they're here to work for a year. I want people who are working for FEMA, who live out of state, who on a temporary duty assignment here in Maryland, and they know they're going to be here for a year.
Right.
All of those are short-term rentals. There are military people who get stationed here, short-term. All these people need housing.
It makes sense. Even for me, like I'm talking to my wife, like, hey, listen, I love the state of Florida. If you notice, I'm there like every month.
Mm-hmm.
I love the state of Florida. How can I make sense of this? And I'm like, well, should I go get an apartment? Should I spend all this money to try to get a house?
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm thinking, like you just told me when we talked yesterday, I said, shit, I can do short-term rentals. Like I can literally go find short-term rentals down there, get them, set them up, and then when they're not rented out or when I want to book it, I go down there and enjoy my life, and I got the best of both worlds.
100,000%.
Man,
and you saving money because what you spending on a hotel? A bag.
A bag.
Sean did not get that bag last year or in February because y'all was at the hotel for a month when you could have been in your own short-term rental, stayed for a month, and when you left, rented it out and made all the money back that you lost within a weekend or two.
Right. I agree. I love it. So listen, before we get out of here, we got a few minutes left. I want to make sure that you guys are using the best skip tracing data possible. I use it, Toya use it, to be talking to these sellers that we just talked about and making sure they got the best number. Because let me tell you something, if they're not paying their mortgage, I doubt they're paying their phone bills too. So use EasySkip to get the best phone numbers possible. Watch this quick break.
This podcast, the Entrepreneur Toolbelt podcast, is sponsored by Easy Skip Tracing. Go to Easy Skip Tracing for your most robust data for your real estate investor business. Don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself to some amazing skip tracing. Remember, Easy Skip Tracing. That's easyskiptracing.com. Don't miss out. Don't cut corners. If you cut
Welcome back. We at the last leg of the show. This has been a great, great podcast. I hope you guys are writing notes. Toya is giving all the secrets away. So listen, I want to talk to you really quickly about a few more things. I know I got 5 minutes. They're going to kick me out. Literally, they'll kick me out. Your biggest regret in real estate investing?
I have none.
You have none?
0.
Cool. Next question. If you had to do something over again in real estate investing, what would you do?
Never sell property I acquired.
Because I remember talking to you a few years ago, you bought a bunch of condos and you sold them. Do you regret that?
Yes, 100%. I should have never sold anything ever. But that's because in my mind, and sometimes you go through these limited ebbs and flows. Right. In my mind, I didn't want to be a landlord, so why was I holding it?
I don't think nobody wants to be a landlord. Like, who wants to deal with somebody cussing and yelling at them because Fishy's backing up to the toilet?
You know, people think that's the only way to hold real estate. And that's what took me so long. I've been selling real estate over 17 years. And I just started holding places over the last couple. Like, you just don't think about all these creative ways to still have a portfolio.
Right. Because no one, like I said, no one's, even on YouTube, no one's talking about this stuff.
Mm-mm.
Like, no one's literally saying, hey, Antoine, there's a way that you can hold a portfolio. You don't need no credit. You don't need, you don't even need 20%. I think the 20% is the biggest deterrent of holding properties. For me, it was like, why would I put down a $200,000 house? Why would I put down $40,000 to make $250? It don't make sense.
Yeah.
I can take that $40,000 do a million things with, then I get $250 on my money.
Well, and that's the reason why I never acquired investments like that. I always find somebody in trouble. That way I can help them and they can help me. I usually don't acquire new mortgages. I take over theirs for whatever they're behind. It makes no sense to clear out your bag trying to make another one. If you can't do it without clearing out your money, you shouldn't do it. Right.
So the tsunami coming. We know for a fact it's coming. You can't hide it. There's no amount of money the government can stop this. Hundreds or millions of people not paying their mortgage. What are some things that you would say people need to get prepared for in order to make out of this alive? Like, make this whole situation alive. Like,
it depends on the people. Are we talking about the seller?
Let's break it down. I don't want to overwhelm you. Let's talk about the sellers.
Okay.
Right. I know we talked before, and at first the bank was offering like, what you call them, deferred payments or stop like.
So at the start of the pandemic, they were offering what's called a forbearance.
Yeah, forbearance.
A lot of people accepted those forbearances, but they did not read the fine print. Those payments did not go to the back of your loan. They literally pushed a pause button. And after all of those months of not paying, they sent you a bill, if they haven't already, saying, okay, now pay us 6 months worth of mortgage. If you didn't have the first 3 months, you don't have 6 months. Now you're hiding under this moratorium. When it's lifted, and Maryland extended it to, I think, June 30th. This is just Maryland. Check your own state to make sure your date is what it is. But Maryland extended to June 30. When June 30 comes, what are they going to do? Because now it's a year's worth of payments. If you push that pause button in March, you over a year's worth of payments. So you're going to call somebody like me or Antoine. You're going to ask us for help. The only help that we'll likely be able to give you is a way out. And that way out is going to be a restart button for your life. You're going to have to start over. And there is nothing wrong with that. For investors and wholesalers, when you get that phone call, have a plan. And the plan should not only involve your gain. You need to make sure you're helping people. Make sure you have a place for these sellers to go. Make sure you are not selling them false hope and dreams. And make sure that you're doing business ethically. Because if you're not, you need to stop. I just don't like it. This is going to be a game changer. When all these people foreclose and lose their homes, it's going to be up to us to pick them up. And even though you don't want to feel like you're gaining on somebody's losses, this is a business and we're here to do business. So put your systems in place and have a plan for when this tsunami hit, because it's going to be a big, big surge of opportunities in the real estate world. I promise.
Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Toya Brim. If you're not following her, follow her.
I feel like I needed a mic drop.
On IG. So follow her _Toya B _. How you even get that name? They let you have that name. You had that?
Because I'm a boss.
On Facebook, Toya Brim. Do you have a website if someone wanted to kind of like reach out to you?
I don't want to give it. Follow me on Facebook.
Well, just follow her and then try to get her DMs.
Slide in my DMs. Only because it's under construction. We're shifting. The way we used to do business is get ready to get a huge facelift. I promise you.
We got to have you back on. This isn't either part 2. This is at least a 2-hour episode. Hey, France, if you're listening, book her again because this is far from over.
I swear I'm going to have some good juju for you in a couple months.
I can't wait. Once they list the moratorium, let's do another special.
Let's do it.
Where we talk about what the wholesalers can do to be ethically inclined, what the realtors can do to step up, and what everybody can come together and create a transaction that can help out the sellers. Talk about how you can build, even in my business, I'm going to start my VAs to call around property management companies dealing with people with bad or second chance credit so we can have places to put people and make seamless transactions.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Of course.
It's been an amazing 40, 50 minutes. Sorry we got a late start, guys. If you want to continue to do business with me, text me right now, 202-335-3322. If you want to come to my June 1st meetup, come to the meetup. Go to CEO929.com to register. If you need a virtual assistance, text me. I'm going to keep drilling you with the text me number because that's the easiest way to get in contact with me and my business. I appreciate everybody. I see you next week. Until next time, sacrifice now, ball forever.
I appreciate you, Antoine.
I appreciate you.
Hey, wholesaler, how you doing? This is your boy, Antoine Campbell. I am the owner of Lead Factory. The Lead Factory is a program that allows you to stop worrying about sellers cussing you out, dealing with your lead generation, trying to figure out how to work Silly Ass Mojo or CallTools, and let us step in and handle all of the work for you. Are you sick and tired of trying to get all of the front end shit right in your business? Well, allow Lead Factory to come in and step in and help you out, and you're only talking to motivated sellers. You can get access to this program for as little as $1,600 a month commitment. But we provide the VA, we provide $1, we do all the management, we take care of everything that you're currently struggling with, and you pay a flat fee knowing you don't have to worry about anything else but talking to motivated sellers. If that sounds like somebody like you, call me now or visit the website right now.